Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and you're very welcome to spend some time with me today. I'll be talking about my cross stitch from the last week, Wednesday to Tuesday last week, this week. Because I am a day late, I'm very sorry. I could not record yesterday. One, because I was bloody tired, and two, because it was over 30 degrees in this conservatory. So it's less today. Can I see the thermometer from here? No, I can't. Oh, it's a mere 28 degrees in here right now, Celsius. Door is open, so I'm sorry if there's a bit of outside noise. Last week there was seagulls. It was so loud. We are nowhere near the sea here. We are inland dramatically, but there's a lot of seagulls, which is great. And last week apparently a lot of you struggled to hear me. I'm really sorry about that. I record on my phone. It is what it is. I am not a professional operation here by any stretch of anyone's imagination. If you can't hear me, I'm really sorry. But there's nothing else I can do. I'm not going to buy more kit. I use my phone propped up on a DMC box, and that's it. Right, okay. So I didn't do a lot of stitching last week. For me, 4,949 stitches, which when I try and do 1,000 a day, that's rubbish. And yesterday I literally did under 200 stitches. It's my worst stitchy day of the whole year. I was just really tired, you know, and doing a lot of other bits. Just doing a lot of other bits and pieces, and I had my little boy yesterday, and it was boiling hot here in the UK. Not as bad as the day before. Now I should have been off this week, but I swapped my week off with a little 19-year-old who really wanted this week off, and I swapped her for her week off, which is the last week of August. So I'll catch myself up then, I'm sure. But until then, I've got to struggle on. Got a whole week of earlies, so I'm a bit, I've done 3, I've got 1 tomorrow, I'm off on Saturday, and then I've got a 10-hour shift on Sunday. So good hours this week, yes. Hardly any stitching this week. Never mind, we keep going. Right then, I'm going to jump in and show you some stitching, and we'll see how we go. So, first thing I'm going to show you is my treasure hunt bookshelf. I've just stitched black. Only 364 stitches in the last week. I did touch it every day, which is what I try to do. Don't think I moved the Q-snap, don't think I did enough to move the Q-snap. I was here when I recorded last time, and now I am here. So I've just put in black stitches here. I've come up here. There's a lot peppering this area of black. I'm heading this way towards this very blank piece, but I've not got there. Obviously I've not got there, or my Q-snap would be there. Anyway, I'm still chucking on with the black stitches in this. I've got a good chunk of black hanging from my thread drop there. I just pull a strand, put a few stitches in, stop when I'm too tired to carry on. As you can see, not finished my thread. If I'm not that tired, I'll finish the thread. Last night it was already 10:30. And I was just like, I have to sleep because my alarm goes off at 20 to 4. So yeah, sleep one, but that was all the sleep I had. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes life's like that, and you just keep going. So there we go. That's Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. I try to touch it every day. Last year I stitched 1% a month. This year I'm trying to touch it every day. And 2 days. Oh crikey, one day I got 4 stitches, and the next day I got 15 stitches. You can see how my stitching's gone this week. That's how it is sometimes. Right, next in my pile is my Dragon's Eye, which I have stitched on just once, and I put 553 stitches into this, and I'm just stitching black again on this because it's easy peasy. This is 16 count, I think. Well, it's 32 count, so I'm stitching 2 over 2 DMC, and it looked like this the last time I filmed, and today it looks like this. So I've picked up the black and put in some black. I think I might have even done this bit, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm putting in black stitches here. Definitely I've put in stitches, and I'm now coming around the edge of the eyeball, so I'm going to carry on putting in my black stitches, and so far now I've done 1100 of 5,000. So I've got a long way to go yet this month, but once I pick this up and start stitching on it, it's lovely. I can bang in a quick 400-500 stitches into it in a couple of hours. It's just having the time and the mind to pick it up and get on with it, which is my problem at the moment, because I'm a bit tired. There we go. So that's one of my Whip Go calls for this month. Another of my Whip Go calls is to finish 3 of my last 3 of the 6 bugs. I'm working on the Dragonfly. It is nearly finished. I think I've got like under 100 stitches to go. I have not yet finished it, but I put in 553 stitches into this. It looked like this the last time I filmed. I'm struggling with how bright the room is, but every other room is so gloomy. I struggle with that too. So today it is looking like this here. So we're very nearly there. All I'm doing now is seagulls again. It's like they heard me. Honestly, if I shut the door, I would melt. So I've put in a lot of the little bits and chips. I know I finished off all the white stitches, and I'm currently just putting in some. This should have been black, but I'm doing it in 317. There's very, very little to go. There's a few bits of this orange. There's the matching one there, and there. And then I think there's a little bit of yellow to put in it, and it'll be done. Of course, Nancy wants to come through now. She's at the door. She can push it. She'll push it. Come on, Nancy. Come on. Push the door. Honestly, offside. She's playing offside. I've kind of pulled the door to the house because the telly's on for Richard in the living room. Hopefully he'll have a bit of a sleep. He's had a funny week. I mean, he's fine. He's fine. He just had a lot of fuss on Sunday. I'll talk about that in a bit. Anyway, so there we go. And now you can see how close they are, because there's the edge of the ladybird. So, I mean, I'm going to put these in hoops. There's about 1.5 inches between that stitch and that stitch. I'll just cut it down the middle and it'll fall where it falls. So that's that one. The Dragonfly. Hopefully this will be well and truly finished and moved on to the next one next week when I show you. Hopefully I film on Wednesday next week and I'll be able to show you something finished. I've got 3 of them finished, but I've got 3 still outstanding. So hopefully he'll be finished. Then we've got, I haven't yet put any stitches into the Better to See You With. Not picked it up yet. But I have, the majority of this week's stitches went into Night Walk Down, which is by the Blue Flower. And I started this, I think, in 2020. It came out in 2019. It took a little while for me to get hold of it in the UK. And I made my one and only order from 123 Stitch to get the fabric, which I overdyed. Anyway, last week it looked like this. I've worked on the same page all week. Oh, and a little bit of the bottom page too. Ugh. Have I? Yes. And now it looks like this. So as you can see, need something behind it. I need something reasonably sized behind it. What have I got? A piece of pink fabric. There. So I've got that there. So as you can see, I've come along quite a long way. What have I done? I've filled in her dress. Yeah, let go of my fabric. I filled in her dress. In real life, you can see her dress from over here. Doesn't look like she's wearing anything at all, but it does really truly blend into the background. I might backstitch the edge of her dress in this purpley colour here. In this colour here, I might just backstitch the edge of her dress just so we can see her a little bit better. I'm still deciding on what colour to do her arm. I'm assuming it needs to be some sort of purple. And I'm currently stitching in her hair, and then I'll do some skin. I need her arm, her hair, her skin, and then her moon. I've done all the words that are on the middle page. So I'm doing them in 550, and then I'm trucking the border. I'm currently trucking the border across at the top. The border is across at the bottom to there, so I need to just carry on and get the border done. 3 colours in the border. And then there's lots of little stars that look like this, and the funny little twisty things there and there, which mostly I'm just doing in white toile. I'm using quite a lot of the white toile because I like the effect it gives. So I put in 2,133 stitches into Night Walk Down. I'm still about 2,000 stitches off my 5,000 stitch count. I'm wondering if I'm going to get this finished, because it is that's basically the edge there, and that's all the funky flowers like that side. So I've basically got the lady to finish, some random stars, the border and some funky flowers, and it's going to be done. And there's a peacock, whereas this side there's a rather strange owl. I mean, my owl is strange because I've made him very funky. The peacock will look equally unusual. I might have to pull a very, very bright teal for the peacock, very peacocky blue, for obvious reasons, because it's a glorious Technicolor version, but it is. That's what I was doing back in 2020, was glorious Technicolor versions. Now I really can't see because the sun's come out. So I'm going to keep going with this. This is paper pattern. It's, I think it is 28 count, 2/2. Some things that are thicker like that, which is like a pearl weight, but it's not cotton, it'll be rayon, this shiny stuff here. And as you can see, it's fluffy and horrible. Beautiful colour. Love the colour, love the variegation colour it's putting in the border, but look at that tail end. That is gross. It's really difficult to work with. But never mind, I keep going. So, Night Walk Down. Lots of stitches into Night Walk Down. Then, as far as my long dog stitching goes, I will insert the clip. I finished Happily Ever After with 145 stitches, which was so close at the end last week. I actually just finished it off while my video was going, while my video was processing. And then I did my spin. I did my spin on the video, didn't I? That's right. And I worked on Saga. I finished my stitches on Saga the day before yesterday, but I didn't spin because I just didn't really stitch yesterday. I've just done my spin now. So I'll show you Saga and then I'll show you my spin. Okay, so Saga got 1,018 stitches, and I just pulled the next 3 colours in line, which were Weeks Dye Works Emma's Pink, Weeks Dye Works Bubblegum, and Threadworks 11005. So these, as you can see, we're getting very pinky now, and we're not going to be able to see because of the sun, but look. So I've been working on the columns, and what I've done is 6 stitches per row. So these are not getting used up. My idea was just to use the skeins up. If I'd have done that, I'd have probably used about 50 skeins, and I've got like 130 or something pulled. So we're going to do six rows of each colour. So I've just basically joined it on, joined the colour on, done 6 rows, changed the colour, done 6 rows, changed the colour, do 6 rows. I think I've got another 12 stitches of this archway to go, and then my archway will be done. Yeah, this one hasn't had the threadworks added on yet. That has, this hasn't, but I've come to the end of my stitches. So that's one half, and that's the other half. Bear in mind, this is 28 count linen, 2/2, and I'm working all the way across because of the way I'm stitching it. It would be too much to keep count of. So my Saga is that big, and it will go down into that piece of fabric. So there we go. Now none of us can see because that light has come out. Can I have a cloud, please? Cloud, please. I need a cloud to cover the sun. There's lots and lots of puffy little clouds up there. We need one of them to move into the way of the sun so that I can actually see and we can keep talking. So there we go. So there's Saga, and I'll put up my spin. So I've taken Saga to, it's now at 4.34%. So it's basically been worked on 4 times, 1,000 stitches each, which is pretty cool. Yeah, 1,000 stitches is roughly 1%, so that's pretty good. Okay, and I'll put my spin up here because I can't see a thing, and that'll show nicely for you. And as you can see, my next spin, which has now come off the wheel until next it gets, till I've stitched on everything, we have spun again for the 3rd time Fishy Goings On, which currently looks like this. Did I insert the clip? I didn't need to because I did the spin on my video. I'm a bit tired. So that looks like that, and it's currently at 15.19%. So it's going to take another little chunk, another 1,000 stitches going into this, and yeah, we'll see which bit I want to stitch on. It's a nice little one. It's a square. It will fit completely into this square, and I've decided for my next, for the other 2, because there's one more out. I think Fisherman's Friends is out already, and there was a 4th that will come out soon. She brought a new long dug out the other day. It's lovely, but I'm not adding it to my list yet because my list is long enough. But we'll see how we get on next year. But for the 3rd and 4th ones, I'm going to use the other half of this fabric, which is called Belladonna, and it's this beautiful dark inky purple. That's its colour really. It's inky and purple and beautiful. And I'm going to use something shocking pink, like Barbie pink, like this colour. But I'll see if I can get a spool of the Aurifil. I can't get a sulky in that colour. I've looked. Well, I've had a look at what Wool Warehouse had to offer, and the only pink was really muted, and I want Barbie pink. And I know I can dye a piece of fabric Barbie pink because I've got 3 pieces of Barbie pink fabric, but there isn't an 18 count there, and this is 18 count. So the next time I dye fabrics, I will get a piece of 18, I'll choose a piece of 18 count and I will Barbie pink it, and it will be bright. It will be really bright, which is going to be cool. And that's going to be the 4th, and that'll be the Barbie pink with this colour thread, just the same as my the other one. Fish and Ships, which is over there and has not spun, and I was hoping it would. I was hoping one of the ones I hadn't worked on would spin, but it was a repeat, and I actually had to spin twice because it came up with the new normal, which I thought had come off the wheel, but it hadn't. So I did spin again because it was time for something else. But I don't mind stitching on that one because that was a new start earlier on, so that's fine. Okay. The sky is not playing ball. I can't see a thing. I can't put the blind down because it's still just about in the roof of the conservatory rather than on the side. As soon as it gets down low enough to be in the window, I can put down a blind, but at the moment it's coming in through the roof. And we shouldn't whinge about good light. It's very warm in here, but there's good light. Now, since I last saw you, I have had a birthday start. I've had a birthday, and I've had a birthday start. And I started Death by Cross Stitch. Now, hold on to yourselves, guys. Here is the birthday start. Ready? There it is. 37 stitches, and since then I've put in 5. There, that's it. Because really I can't stitch on this when I'm tired in the living room. I need to stitch on this in here, in the light, when I'm, my eyes are actually open, because it is tiny. This is a half yard, and I'm going to only use half of it. It will fit on a fat quarter of 40 count, apparently, according to my calculations. Death by Cross Stitch, which is what this is, by the way. I mean, you can totally tell what it is just from that. It's Death by Cross Stitch, and I was given this piece of fabric by one of my very dear stitchy friends, and the labels come off it straight away. Oh no, it didn't. It was a label was on the piece of thingy. There we go. The sun's gone in. I can see again. On the there was a piece of twine holding it folded. It's an Next Due Design fabric, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's beautiful. It's not so much mottling. It's two very distinct colours of dye, with just a touch here and there of a purple as well. I would say it was two tones of teal and a little bit of purple here and there. It's quite striking. I really like it. And I did fold it over several times because hand-dyed fabric looks different both sides. So I picked the bolder side, but this is going to be so heavily stitched. It's just going to look kind of teal. It's beautiful fabric. It's linen, but it's very even. It's lovely. I just couldn't see it in the living room. And I'm stitching this very indulgently with some beautiful Silks for Use that I was gifted. Absolutely lovely. And I've got lots of the mini skeins here. And I've got two of this one, which is now completely missing. I know I've got two of this one. So this is the border, and it's absolutely glorious. And I've not got the tag. I found a thread drop that looked like it belonged to the fabric. I haven't put a magnet on it yet. It was in my back box, but look, it definitely belongs on this fabric, this thread drop. It's not going to be monotone. Oh, it is. It's here. It's on the floor. There's the other one. This one is PR084. That one. I've got two skeins of it. I'm only using one strand, so that should easily do the border. I'm going to do it in distinct chunks. I'm not going to do like every little motif a different colour, but there's lots of bands and like the alphabet. I'm gonna think about it as I go, but it's all going to tone together, and I'm going to use a lot of these and a lot of the extra threads that I've kind of finished with for Saga, because they're all the same kind of colours. But now that I know I'm not going to use up all the thread for Saga, if I want a little accent and I've got just the right colour in amongst that, I'll use it. It doesn't have to be silk, it just happens that I've got some Silks for You, so that's what I started with. Hopefully this will progress. This is going to be on the spin. I'm going to put it on the spin board, but if I fancy stitching on it, I'm going to stitch on it, especially when the light is good, just to get a little bit of a go at it. It's quite a biggie. Not as big as I thought though. Saga is loads bigger, but this is more like condensed stitching. So there's a big start. I didn't order from Wool Warehouse yet. My basket is filled, but I haven't processed my order yet. I need to do that. And that's my stitching, because when I get the fabric from there, I can start my Gecko Rouge kit, which I haven't got around to yet. And I think that's everything. So it's going to be quite a short video today because I'm boiling hot. I'm also very tired and I want to get back to listing my fabrics. Okay, so that's all the stitching. Little bit of life, not much. We took Richard's boys to their adventure. They've gone for a week on a week-long course out in the wilderness where he used to work. Well, he still is technically employed by them, but he's gone there. They've gone there, and we went back for the first time since he got sick and came home at lunchtime in February. So it was a bit overwhelming for him, and it upset him quite a bit, and he had a lot of I went into the kitchen, had a snoop around the kitchen, got who are you kind of thing, and I was like, oh, it's fine, I'm all right, I'm just having a little snoop. They didn't know that I'd worked as a chef. They didn't know that I knew what was going on and what was what and who was where. They were just like, what are you doing in the kitchen? I was like, I'm just having a snoop, see what kit you've got on that. Anyway, yeah, so the his manager, the other, I mean, he was the catering manager, the manager of the centre, and the overall area manager were there. So I had a chat to them, and when I went back to Richard, he was surrounded by women, all the housekeepers and all the administration staff were all like, oh, how are you doing, to him, and I was like, okay, everybody, can we give him a little bit of space, please? He was like a bit overwhelmed, too many voices. So he's been a bit hit and miss the other day. One tiny example, this is how his brain is misfiring. He keeps his wallet on the old chessboard, which he can't play at the moment because he can't see to play chess. We're going to remedy that. We're going to get a touchy-feely chess set. But he keeps his wallet on the chessboard, and we were going out, and he went, "Oh, I need to get can you grab my wallet from the cheesecake?" So chessboard turned into cheesecake. So his brain, when he's been overwhelmed, his brain scrambles a bit back to, the way it was. So anyway, we deal with that. He's gradually feeling a bit better now. Oh, I feel like Helen D. I'm starting to glow. she's hot and bothered, and to record these videos, you've got to have quiet. I could have a lovely big fan in here blowing nice air onto me, but that's no good because then the volume's crap. I need the door open, but then you get trains, you get cars, you get bloody seagulls. Reasons unknown. It's just how it is. Anyway, so yeah, Richard's okay. And this week I've been concentrating a lot on filling my kofi shop. I am almost there. I have got about 2/3 of my fabrics left to post up, and then I'm going to open my shop. So it will be today. That's the 14th of August. I will put a post on Instagram when my shop opens, and then we'll go and see. Because I'm very mindful of the fact that the tariffs are coming in, certainly posting to America, coming in at the end of the month. So we can fly under the radar if we get things away in this next week. We can get things across the Atlantic and through customs before tariffs kick in. Now, as far as I can gather, your tariffs work exactly the same as VAT works in the UK. Now, if I order fabric from 123 Stitch, like I did that time, I pay my shipping, and they package up my order and they send it to me. When it hits the UK, it goes into customs, and customs have a look at the customs declaration if they think it there, and they x-ray it, and then they do like a really quick, does that look like what should be in it? Does that look like what's been declared? Yep, that looks fine. Dog sniffs it, nothing dodgy in there. And then, because it's over a certain amount, and going into America now, it's any amount. And I think basically into the UK is now any amount, because that's how it seems to be. Now, when it comes through, I get charged VAT, which is, I'm not actually sure anymore. It used to be 17.5%. I think it's changed, but I get charged VAT on the cost, on the declared cost on the back of the customs label, which is fair dues. So, if I order $100 worth of stuff, I might pay, that should be, if it was 17.5%, I have not checked the VAT rate lately, it would be £17.50. I expect to pay that. What I object to is that to process the letter and the sticker, which they then stick on saying duty to pay, they charge me £12. So the last time I signed for a parcel, I went and collected my parcel, my fee, my £12 fee, was more than my duty, which made me a little bit cross, because Parcel Force charge £12, even if it's £1 VAT. So you still got to cough it up if you want your parcel. So I believe that's how the tariff's going to work. It's on the buyer. I'll post things as normal to America. I'll itemize the items on the back like I always do. And instead of it just being delivered to your house, there'll be a fee attached to it. And we can't change that. But it will be proportional to the amount of money that's on, that the item is. I saw a really scary post up from Gecko Rouge saying that every parcel will be $80, and I just can't see that being right, because if the value of the parcel is under $80, why would they charge you $80 to get it into the country? If that is correct, then that's trade between everywhere in the US gone. But I believe it will be like a percentage on the value of the goods. So hopefully, anyway, Kofi shop should be open tonight, honestly, I've listed all sorts of things. As far as the bags go, I've had to add a little extra postage because they're heavy, and I didn't account for that before. I should have accounted for it. I didn't account for it. Last time I did postage, I got stung just a little bit because my postage rates for a large letter go up to 100 grams, which is 3-4 needle minders, no problem at all, no bother. As soon as you add in a bag, it's suddenly over 100 grams and you go into the next pay bracket. So I've had to just tweak the postage rates a little bit. I'm not looking to make rakes of cash out of postage, honestly. Quite a few of you who've ordered multiple items from me can look at your postage that's printed on the front of your thing, and you'll see that it's more than you've paid. So you know I'm not trying to rip you off. I'm just trying to get it as close as I can, but until it's handed over to the post office, I can't say for sure because they change it all the time. Anyway, if you're interested, just at Kofi, which is KO-FI, you can either go on there and search Crafty Emily, just spelled the same as my channel name, and you'll find my page, or there is a link in my description box and I'll get the packages off just as quickly as I can, hopefully to slide them under the radar this last time. Okay, anywhere else in the world, it's just as it'll work just as it always has. It's just the US tariffs will be changing at the end of the month. I think the 29th of August is the last day that they will process things normally before it all changes, unless your government decides otherwise. But that's beyond all our control, I'm afraid. Okay, right guys, I better go and get on with my fabrics. I'll get this processing, and I will see you next week. I hope it will be Wednesday. I'm sorry it's Thursday already and I missed yesterday, but life, just too hot, too tired. I'm already far too hot sitting in here. Time to go. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.